Hello my friends, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the aspects of the weekly Torah reading Parashat Tetzaveh that remind me of Yeshua. Parashat Tetzaveh is found in Exodus chapter 27 verse 20 up to chapter 30 verse 10. In this parasha, just like in the previous week's parasha, Moshe is on Mt Sinai, receiving the vision and instructions pertaining to the construction and furnishings of the Tabernacle. So, in a number of places in this parasha, Tetzaveh, I am reminded of some roles that Yeshua fulfilled as one who was purposely sent by HaShem to ultimately fulfill the Torah. I find Yeshua in the mitzvah to cause a lamp to burn continually in the tent of meeting outside the curtain before the testimony. I will explain that further. I also find Yeshua in the service of the high priest. The service of the high priest was conducted in the tent of meeting in the holy place before Adonai. So we find that in presenting sin offerings, which was one of the duties of the high priest, Yeshua presented himself as a sin offering for all humanity. We find also that the high priest would perform the atonement sacrifice on the Day of Atonement once every year. In connection with this, we find also in terms of Yeshua that in Hebrews chapter 9 verse 24 and verse 25, it says, "For Messiah did not enter into the Holy of Holies made with hands, counterparts of the true things, but into heaven itself, now to appear in God's presence on our behalf. And he did not offer himself again and again, as the Kohen Gadol enters into the Holy of Holies year after year, with blood that is not his own." So I find that just looking at these few elements, Yeshua performed a fulfillment of that which was a shadow of things to come that the high priest was doing in the tabernacle. I find also in terms of the high priest's use of the urim and the thummim to inform the people the will of HaShem pertaining to national matters. We read concerning Yeshua in John 14 verse 6. John 14 verse 6, I will find that. It says, Yeshua said to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Meaning that purpose for which the Kohen Gadol was using the urim and thummim to determine the will of the Father, Yeshua actually being the fulfillment is the way, the truth, and the life. We find also that the high priest was a civil ruler of great importance during the time of the temple. And we find also that Yeshua, he is now the head of the Kehillah throughout all the world, having interceded and atoned for the sins of all who believe and confess his name. Now, having spoken about all these functions of the high priest, I find that the need of the high priest illustrated the need for a mediator. Why? Because the high priest is the only one who could draw near to the Holy One, blessed be he, on behalf of sinful men. Now, I've got a very, very curious question here. Because the issue of the mediator between God and men, because God is holy and man is sinful, so the need for a mediator, we find that this is a very, very crucial role in the relationship of God and man. But then, seeing that there has not been a high priest in the Jerusalem temple since its destruction in 70 AD, who has been performing the duty of the high priest, if not Yeshua? Now, my friend, let's go back to the mitzvah to cause the lamp to burn continually in the tent of meeting. As I said before, we read in the Parashat that in Shemot, in Exodus chapter 27, verse 20 and 21. Let me find it. Chapter 27, verse 20 and 21. It says, "Also you are to command Bnei Israel that they are to bring to you pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause a lamp to burn continually in the tent of meeting outside the curtain which is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons will set it in order to burn it from evening to morning before Adonai. It will be a statute forever throughout their generations on behalf of Bnei Israel." Exodus chapter 27, verse 20 to 21. Question: why outside the curtain which is before the testimony? I believe it is because you and me are the ones who need this light. HaShem is light, so he has no need for light because he is light. But you and me, we need the light. So this light was to be showing outside the curtain which is before the testimony, in order that we should understand that. But seeing now that the temple is not functioning, so what about now, my friend? Is the lamp continually burning on your behalf? In the Brit Hadashah, in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12, Yeshua says, "I am the light of the world. The one who follows me no longer walks in darkness, but he will have the light of life." Do you see that? I'm sure HaShem, because he knew that the temple was going to be destroyed, he sent his son just in time, 70 years before the burning of the destruction of the temple, so that he may continue to be the light that lives inside of us. Which is why he then says, "I am the light of the world. The one who follows me no longer walks in darkness, but will have the light of life." And we read also in 1 John chapter 1, verse 7. "But if we walk in the light, as he himself is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of his son Yeshua purifies us from all sin." When I look at these things, I find it so amazing that Yeshua actually came in time to fulfill the commandments that God instructed to be performed in the temple. This to me, it says to me that Yeshua indeed is the Messiah who has come as Ben Yosef and who will soon come as Ben David. So here, this is the video in which I'm expressing the elements where I'm seeing Yeshua in Parashat Tetzaveh. Thank you very much, my friends. Goodbye.